get into the saddle, if you might use that term, to settle down, become one with the horse, and in a sense, become one with life? Because I think throughout life, we also have those challenging moments. How do we help the rider to figure out some of those things as they learn to ride a horse?
Yeah, and you hit it there on the head, in fact, because that is what it is. It is like it is life. And you learn so many lessons from the horses. The horses have always been my teachers, and
Yeah.
so are they for my students as well. And I go always from the fact of we love horses, so that comes first, above all.
Yeah.
Not us, not ribbons or money or fame or whatever. We try first the good for the horse, which is not always easy, and not everybody thinks like that.
Yeah.
And it's a money world as well. So in every sport, then you see people then as well that take shortcuts,
Yes.
and that you go, okay, now it totally goes in cost of the animal. And then at that moment, a lot of people, when they get into the horses further and further, they forgot why they started the horses in the first place. And that was that they loved horses.
Welcome to The Climb, where I help Christian men live fully, lead boldly, and leave a legacy that matters. I'm your host, Teko Bailey, husband, father, life coach, and your guide in the climb. Whether you're navigating fatherhood, building a business, or simply longing to live more purpose, this is a space to rise.
Henk, welcome to The Climb. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes.
So you're an equestrian, or some people might call you a horseman. You train others in riding of horses and this type of field. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, that is for me been a passion since I was a little child. My mom said I would hop around in the child carriage if I saw a horse or a pony.
Yes.
And that stayed like that. Just sadly enough, where I'm from in the Netherlands, in Holland, it was more a sport of the elite. Yeah, so financially, my parents were not that able that they could give the other one out of three. And the one in the middle, they could not give the other ones as well, such an expensive sport. So, but that in itself became a whole roadway how I stayed in the horses anyhow.
So since 8 years old, what was the journey like as you got into this type of sport and started teaching it?
Okay, well, that again, after a youth full of horses everywhere, I was first actually, because my parents did not believe that this was a profession, and didn't allow me therefore to go to and which was also very expensive, I must add, to go to an instructor school proper, and well, didn't encourage that, didn't approve that. So I ended up going, like generations of my family, already in the army as to the Royal Military College. So at that point, horses were no option for me. It was a dream, but it was no option. And so I did the Royal Military College, and then in the infantry army, at a certain moment thereafter, it was 6 years, I was 23 when I was sent to Lebanon
Yeah.
with the Dutch army as a commander of an outpost. And yeah, that's actually where my whole life changed.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I guess in other words, through the army, are you saying that opened doors for you to sort of get towards your dreams of doing a horsemanship?
Well, it was once I was in college there, the military, to become a commissioned officer. There was an army riding team, and they
Yes.
supplied you with horses and instructions and all that. So I still got my feel with the horses, and that on a voluntary or more recreational basis.
Yes.
But it was good. We had quite famous and well-known trainers. And so that was good. But at a certain moment, you can't stay forever in that college. So I had
Exactly.
to go do the real jobs and
Yes.
whatever that required.
Yes.
At that moment, I was, I think we call it group, but a squad commander. And
Yes.
so ended up with that group on an outpost in Lebanon. And yeah, there things changed in a way that I went like, yeah, but life is really short. I start to appreciate really things around me. And that's where I, for the first time in my life, realized that I had to stand still and appreciate whatever is beautiful and remember.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, at a certain moment, you see things that nobody should see. So I decided to go from Holland, immigrate, and then people in Canada, actually, Spruce Meadows, which is a very famous place in the world as well, one of the biggest in the world in Calgary. Mark Southern, the owner, time owner, and still done so much for me to get me into the country. And they hired me. I had a contract, could work for them and yada. So that took a lot to get me into here. That was not easy. And from there on, I've been pretty soon already, when I arrived here, self-employed, which involved all kinds of branches of the horse business. The training of young horses, the teaching lessons, the clinics, the finding horses for people, dealing with stallions and mares and all that as well. So it has many different aspects.
When I met you and we started chatting, you talked about the sport of riding horse is the sport of kings. Tell me a little bit about the history behind the life of a horseman. Or
Yeah, well, since olden days, the equestrians worked for kings and people
yes,
that had money enough that they could keep horses or army. Before the tanks came in the army, the cavalry always had horses. So the knowledge was then carried on from generation to generation to generation by army officers and cavalry. And
yes,
that went on already since Xenophon in the Greek time. And so that knowledge is actually, since the tanks came, gone to a much more commercial way. And now it's more entertainment and commercial and all that.
what would you say training horses has taught you about leading people?
Leading people, it is a whole different business.
Yeah,
99% of my clientele are females, so
yes,
that is a whole different business. While in the
yeah.
other business, in the army where I was, 100% was male.
But
So
how do you see the connection between training horses and then leading people, teaching them how to ride horses?
yes, and the teaching part, I'm very grateful that I was taught to be an instructor. So those skills taught at the college, military college, are very helpful, and that is for me, yeah, been a blessing that I have that ability. Ended up with a really high mark in military college itself. When I graduated at the college, I was asked to stay there as an instructor for a year, which I did. Be-
Yes.
Then I could still keep writing. Yeah, so to me, that was kind of a nice way to start my career. But in the army, nothing lasts long. So you had to move on already. At the end, I spent 8 years in the army. And
When we talk about training riders, how do you help people? I haven't done much riding myself, but for the little experience I've had, it can be quite a bit fearful, or you can be quite anxious doing it the first time, whether it's keeping the horse steady or keeping yourself steady and
yes,
not being
very
thrown
important.
off the horse. How do you help people to kind of overcome their fears and get into the saddle, if you might use that term, to settle down, become one with the horse, and in a sense, become one with life? Because I think throughout life, we also have those challenging moments. How do we help the rider to figure out some of those things as they learn to ride a horse?
Yeah, and you hit it there on the head, in fact, because that is what it is. It is like it is life. And you learn so many lessons from the horses. The horses have always been my teachers, and
Yeah.
so are they for my students as well. And I go always from the fact of we love horses, so that comes first, above all.
Yeah.
not us, not ribbons or money or fame or whatever. We try first do the good for the horse, which is not always easy, and not everybody thinks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a money world as well. So in every sport, then you see people then as well that take shortcuts,
Yes.
and that you go, okay, now it totally goes in cost of the animal. And then at that moment, a lot of people, when they get into the horses further and further, they forgot why they started the horses in the first place. And that was
Mm.
that they loved horses. And yeah, and nobody is clean from ever making mistakes and oops,
Yes.
and nobody is. But if you go at least at night with a sugar cube and you say, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't mean that, or that you, and then it's all right. I have never seen such forgiving creatures as horses,
Yes.
right? And in most cases, if there is nasty horses, it was human caused.
Uh,
And to start with, yeah, yeah.
do you think as people get into the sport of riding horses, or for whatever reason they choose to learn, that it helps them to navigate different areas of life as they learn to ride a horse? It helps them, let me say, maybe overcome certain challenges, or teaches them skills that can be applied to different areas in life.
Well, and yes, very much so. And again, that is very much a process in which you keep learning. I'm still learning. I'm still riding. I'm still even on hand with horses, or just the everyday contact with them. It's incredibly good for the soul.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of PTSD and all that. The horse has been totally so good, and that opportunity has been a blessing for me,
Yeah.
that I can do that as well as then a profession as well, so that I can be involved with horses in a professional way. I've seen in it was in Rocky Mountain House in Alberta. I had to teach there once a lesson, and I came in a bit early, but we could not get into the arena yet
Yeah.
because there was a group of psychologists with at least, I think, 8 or 10 veterans
Huh.
with their spouses, and they each gave them a horse. And now the psychologist brought them to certain scenes and this and that, and the horse would react totally on that person beside them. And it was
Mm.
so phenomenal, beautiful to see how those horses reflect us.
Wow.
They can feel our heartbeat. And
Wow.
I come into a stall, a horse can feel like on a 10-meter radius my heartbeat. So that it will, like you said in the beginning, they feel you. You have to feel your inner fear. If my heart goes like a 1,000 miles in a minute, then that
Yes.
horse feels that instantly. That
Yes.
is, and it will adjust it to mine. So it will also get excited, so that's hard.
So what I hear you saying is, in essence, horses are adaptive creatures.
Very well. They're an animal of flight, and we want to stop that
Yeah.
as people, because we're sitting on a phenomenally powerful animal that, yeah, that which nature is flight. So the moment that it becomes uncomfortable or
Yeah.
afraid or just disagreeing with the whole fact and
Yes.
says, hey,
Yes.
you can go play on the highway.
Yes.
That moment they can take the initiative, and yeah, that moment you do a little prayer.
Well, absolutely.
But
Prayer, it calms your spirit and helps you figure out what next to do. Was there a moment or a season in your life that you've been through challenging or difficult periods that you've learned from, and maybe some of this helped you become the person you are today?
yeah, and there are, like, in I think in everybody's life, that you have those kind of moments, and moments where you're also not proud of, not at all. But if you learn from them and you become a better man, then in fact it is not good that those things happen, but they can make you a better man. And I grew up in a family that was really, really, in those days, nobody divorced. And if it was the big shame of the whole street and town. But I'm already divorced twice. And that is made due as well to the, like I said, the psychological stuff you deal with And that comes out, which is hard in partners. And you keep evolving in that as well over your life, and hopefully becoming a better person, and that you can find your happiness and all. And
Absolutely.
then family is important. I have a daughter here, which is, I love her dearly.
Come
And
on.
yeah, and my mom passed away just recently. So in those times, you start thinking different about life. Yeah, whatever comes around with it, you start looking at things more and appreciating things again
Yeah.
as well. And going back to your roots again. I was raised as a Christian. Later on, straight away, let's say, from the church itself, but have not all the
Yes.
stories, the Sunday school, the whole thing,
I
especially
understand.
moments of when people pass away and
Yeah.
times get difficult, and then yeah,
Yeah.
then like the
And God
of
shows up in some of these moments. And while it might not feel like he's there sometimes, oftentimes he's behind the scenes, guiding us and helping us to get through these moments.
yeah, no doubt, and if we are open to listen,
If we are open to listening, absolutely.
yes,
I'm still learning some of that myself. What can you say to men who are going through challenges in their marriages? You know, as men, we go through different seasons. Everybody's life is a bit different. But as you've been through different seasons, different journeys, and maybe experiences that you wish would have gone differently, how could you help men see ahead or learn maybe what they wouldn't have learned otherwise as they go through different challenges in their marriage?
yeah. For everybody, we get especially nowadays, I think we
Yeah.
get challenged. As men, we are pretty simple. I
Yeah.
think as
Yeah.
far as we have some instincts and all that, the modern day doesn't make that easier either. To me, once you I've had some really, really good people in my life lately. And if you at a certain moment come in a disagreement with somebody and you call that quits, at that moment it's over. And trying to make it work, or even if it is over, nobody is helped with the fact if anybody is down or unhappy or anything like that. I,
Yeah.
I would say find happiness in whatever, because life is short,
Yeah.
very short. And so the beautiful things which make us happy are all around us, I think, even if it's just touching a dog or talking to somebody. It was that time very pleasant
Yes.
talking to you. I remember going home and saying to the girls here, I made a friend, really nice guy there. Totally, that meeting somebody just warm is a good experience.
Yeah.
And that those little things, yeah, make life beautiful. And yeah, there's
Absolutely.
always better there.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts in terms of, I know some guys, we're afraid of doing like counseling or therapy when we go through some of these challenging times, because I think as men, it can be difficult sometimes to be vulnerable or even talk about some of the challenges we're having. How would you speak to that? And what are your thoughts in that area, if you have anything to say?
Well, I did that already since I immigrated, since
Yeah. Yeah.
1985, I think,
Yeah.
that I was looking already for counseling and
Yeah.
myself, and that helped me tremendously at that moment. And wherever I moved, if I felt the need,
Yeah.
because it keeps coming back and it goes and comes back, and the PTSD is not a fun thing.
Yeah.
There's so many people around that have same experiences, that doesn't have to be exactly that,
Yeah.
but just trauma experiences or with other people or whatever. I think it is very helpful if you can find somebody where you connect with. It is very important, I think. Otherwise, it's not so easy to let go of some barriers. And then yeah, and let it go. In the end, they're not gonna
Yeah.
tell you what to do, but they're gonna listen and maybe give you a vision or something. To me, it's been very helpful.
Yeah. I think as humans, relationships are important, and no one was meant to live by themselves. You know, as the famous quote, "No man is an island." And I think community is always such a key part in anyone's growth or development or healing as they go throughout life. As a father, talk to me a little bit about fatherhood. I know you talk about your amazing daughter, and what has the journey of fatherhood been like? How can you encourage the men who are out there, maybe as they're going through their season of fatherhood and navigating that journey?
Yeah, like I said, when I was a kid, there was never divorces.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's often less common that people stay together as that they
Yes.
looks like it. So there must be a lot of fathers out there as well that have, like me,
Hmm.
then I have one daughter, and that is it. And yeah, it has been tremendously helpful to have her always still into my life. Several times a year on holidays, and I would see her because I moved at a certain moment to the Fraser Valley, to Vancouver, but she still lived in Alberta. But kept continuing doing work there so that I could keep seeing her. In those days, I would see her then every day. I would start my job so early in the morning that we had from 1 o'clock till the rest of the day on together.
Wow.
And that would be every month. And yeah, we have been a lot, we go a lot still. She's an incredible athlete with snowboarding. She loves to do that. I love to do the skiing. So we go a lot together.
Come
As
on.
we do that kind of activities.
It's competitive in your bones.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, she lives in Alberta, and so yeah, and is a happy girl, married, and
I like that. At this stage in your life, Hank, as a horseman, as someone who has been through military life and just the multicultural experiences that you've had, what are some advice that you would give to men as you encourage them moving forward?
yeah, you hit there a thing as well with the multicultural thing.
Yes.
We are in such a beautiful society of multicultural here in Canada, even more so than in Europe. But I've seen many because of my job, many parts of the world, and I was able to work from there and see people everywhere. To me, it doesn't matter where you come, you find people that are good and that it just, you can feel it when they have a good heart. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And to me, that is too, and especially in Canada nowadays, if you looking away at people that they right away see your friendliness, then it is answered. It's right
Yeah.
away, you get a very much nicer look back.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be social anymore nowadays,
Yeah.
I find, because people live more within their own world. But when you
Yes.
do make an eye contact or anything in a nice way or a nice comment, you can see that it works on those people the same as it does to you. And yeah, I
Wonderful.
think the thing is with people is try to reach out, no matter
Yes.
who it is, right? It doesn't matter. Respect for anybody. It doesn't
Absolutely.
matter. Yeah.
Absolutely. What keeps you going, Hank? As you're in this season of life and you've seen all that you've seen and explored different areas of life, what keeps you going?
I hope that I keep enjoying this. I don't want to stop. Lets me physically go on for as long as then I don't want to stop because I enjoy it too much to help people and help horses most of all. So that's my passion. And I hope I learn. I hope I learn that I can help people because the more I learn, the more I can help people as well. And that is a really good feeling. I want to keep doing that. That gives me really a lot of gratification and satisfaction to see how horses and people go better. That to me, I always say it is funny world because I should be paying them
Yes. Yeah.
for the fun that I'm having. You know what I mean? And that is because it is, and it's not everybody is easy, but at the same time, to see with a whole different variety of people, to see that you can get to that point that you get results and that they come with a big smile on their face and horses are happy and all that. That's my goal. Yeah. And then there comes a day for us that we have to go.
Exactly. All of us. All of us.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Um, what a powerful story. Starting out with a dream and a vision of riding horses, training others to ride horses. But you had to segue in your journey to join the military, but yet the military gave you the opportunity to do some of what you wanted to do until you could branch off. I think you have such a powerful story and one of perseverance and just the spirit of not giving up. To me, you are, in a sense, a therapist as well, because for one who can train others to ride horses and become one with the horse in itself is almost like therapeutic. And
Very.
yeah.
So good for the soul.